You're listening to the Life Coaching Secrets Podcast, episode number 4. Did you know that life coaches are needed now more than ever? I'm Frank Macri, founder of Thriving Coach Academy. I've trained over 1,000 coaches and helped them launch their own successful coaching businesses. If you want to make an incredible income and impact as a coach and have a lot of fun doing it, I'll show you exactly how to get it done. This is Life Coaching Secrets. Hello, everybody. In this episode, I want to talk about coachability. I want to explain what it means to be coachable and also the signs that someone might not be coachable and how to shift that around. So I strongly believe that it is essential for clients to be coachable and also for coaches to be coachable. I often tell coaches that go through the academy to be a product of the product. So when coaches go through the academy, they receive a generous amount of coaching as they earn their certification, because the more coaching that you get, the better coach you become, because you're able to experience the power of coaching and you value it more, which makes it easier for you to offer and sell coaching to others. So it is one thing for you to be coached. It's another thing for you to be open to the coaching process. That is what coachability is all about. That's what I'm going to cover and break down. So when you are open to the coaching process, you get better results through coaching. You have more breakthroughs. And as you have breakthroughs, you can't help but want to share them with others. And as a coach, when you're experiencing breakthroughs and you're sharing those with others, that brings people in, that attracts clients to you. So being coachable is one of the best qualities to have as a coach, and it's also one of the best things you can do to grow your business without even feeling like you're marketing yourself, because you're just living in all the breakthroughs that you're having. So the coach who thinks that their work is done, that coach is going to struggle. I think that mastery as a coach is being able to be the coach when you're coaching someone and then be coached often when you are not coaching someone. So there are 4 main qualities that enhances one's coachability. I see coachability as a quality that we could improve, we can increase, or we can decrease. So the first quality is being open to new ideas and thoughts. This means being willing to receive new perspectives, new paradigms, and not latching onto whatever current thoughts that we currently have. The second quality is wanting to recognize your own blind spots. This is when you're able to be excited when you realize that you're missing something. Like, oh, I can't wait to find out where I might be off here. I can't wait to figure out where I might be wrong. So that's the second quality. You want to recognize your blind spots. The third quality that enhances someone's coachability is you are willing to be completely wrong. So you're not looking to be right. You want to be wrong so you can uncover something more. So you could see the things you're not seeing. So you're willing to be completely wrong. And the fourth quality is you desire change. You have a desire for change. You do not want things to stay as they are. You are unwilling to let things remain the same. Now, what prevents coachability? Right? Oftentimes, it's just about removing what's preventing coachability so we can really become coachable. The first thing that prevents coachability is thinking that you know it all already, or thinking you've tried everything already. Now, some of these signs are a little sneaky. We don't realize that we have them, but we do. So whenever we have a challenge, in order to move through the challenge and have a new solution and actually get where we want to be, it's so powerful to first realize, how coachable are we to even uncovering a solution? How open are we to new ideas? Are we looking to recognize our blind spots? Are we willing to be completely wrong? Do we actually desire change? Right? And these things that prevent coachability are often what we need to remove so we can get there. So thinking you know it all already or thinking that you've tried it all. So it doesn't matter how old you are, how experienced you are, or how many times you've tried something, you are never too old to learn something new. And it's often not your fault if you sometimes latch onto this belief that you need to know it all already, or you need to prove that you've tried everything. Usually adults have this thought that they should have everything figured out, which is not true. The moment that you think that, you close yourself off to anything else. So you tried all the things that you know that you can try, but there's always more to learn. So if you think you've tried it all, your definition of all is just what you know all to be. But we don't realize what else is out there. So one thought to have is it's possible I'm missing something here. And that's not about beating you up. It's just about opening you up. It's possible I might be missing something here. Think about how having that thought with whatever kind of challenge you're experiencing right now, you might think, oh, I've tried it all already. I already know all there is to know about this challenge. What if it's possible you're just missing something, even if it's a little tiny piece of the puzzle, and that piece could make all the difference? Now, the second thing that prevents coachability is thinking that you are the one person that nothing's going to work for. Oftentimes, this shows up in ways where people go, well, my situation is so different than other people's because blah, blah, blah. Now, oftentimes, people will be so attached to their victim story that they don't even realize that it's a story anymore. They think it's just reality. Sometimes people will look for evidence that there's just something wrong with them, that there's something inherently wrong with them, which will be the reason why they can't get whatever result or success they want to have. Now, when people do this, they often create a bit of a pity party. Woe is me, woe is me. And misery loves company. So oftentimes when people have their victim story and they're so convinced that they're the one different situation, they're the one different person on the planet, they may receive attention for this, right? Sometimes people feel significant and special because of all the attention and the pity and maybe even the care or compassion that they get for sharing their victim story, and they don't want to let that go. And as a result, some people just indulge in their misfortune and their negativity without realizing that it's their indulgence to their story that's really getting in their way. It's their indulgence and their attachment to their victim story that's actually causing them to stay where they are. Now, here's the thing. There is a difference between I am wrong in my thinking versus I am wrong as a human. So what if there's nothing wrong with you as a human and there's just something wrong in your thinking? Right? When you could separate the two, you open yourself up to realize, oh, maybe there's just some thoughts that I could examine or have or try or change or shift. And that will allow me to see everything differently. There's nothing wrong with you, just something wrong or off about your thinking. There might just be an error in a thought you have. So the next thing that prevents coachability is thinking that no one else can help you. Sometimes people think, I need to figure this out on my own. I am better off doing this by myself. Some people approach challenges with this rugged individualist mentality. And as a result, they close themselves off from receiving any support. They think that they just need to figure everything out on their own, that they can't rely on or trust anyone else. So I used to be this way for a long time. I would pride myself on my ability to do things by myself. And I was worried that if I ever relied on someone else, I would just end up in a worse place. And it's funny as I look at my approach to challenges now, because whenever I get stuck now, rather than banging my head against the wall, I just ask myself, where can I find support? Who can help me with this? Who can make this simpler for me? I just find the professional or the coach or the mentor that could guide me through. So if you think sometimes no one can really help me through this, I need to figure this out on my own, I want you to think about this quote. Success requires help. Failure we can do alone. Success requires help. Failure we can do alone. Think about how that might open you up to learn to embrace support the next time it becomes available to you. Oftentimes, it's not about there being a lack of support. That's the challenge. It's the pressure we put on ourselves to figure something out without support. It's the judgments we make about ourselves if we ask for help. So there is nothing wrong about asking for help. It doesn't make you weak. It doesn't show any flaw in your character. In fact, I believe it shows strength in your character when you can allow yourself to receive support. When you could care about your life enough and value yourself enough to let the process be simpler. I also like to remind myself that whenever I am bringing in support, that we're on the same side, right? When you work with a coach, your coach is on your side. They only want what's best for you. If you're a coach and you're working with your clients, right, there's no scenario in which your coach wins if you don't, right? It's in neither party's benefit for one person to get what they came for, but not the other. So this is true for you. Your coach has your back. When you are working with a coach, it's in neither of you or their benefit for them to just get what they want, but you to not get what you want, right? When you win, your coach wins. So you're on the same team. You're all on the same side. So here's another thing that prevents coachability. The desire to be right. Think about it. How often do you like being right about things? Or you just enjoy the experience of knowing that you're right, someone else might be wrong? Here's the thing. The more right that you need to be, the more repeating you will do. The more you want to be right, the more you end up repeating the same challenges over and over and over. So one new thought that's really helpful to have and open yourself to coachability is, I want to be wrong about this problem. Right? It sounds so bizarre to have that thought, but when you want to be wrong about a problem, and when you realize I am wrong about this problem, you get to be wrong about how difficult the solution will be. Right? When you are wrong about the problem, you also get to be wrong about how difficult the solution will be. So oftentimes when we just release the need to be right, we allow ourselves to be wrong, right? We realize that we can actually get the result we want in just an entirely different way that we didn't see because we were so attached to thinking our way was the right way. So it is so much more fun to be wrong about a problem than be right about it. Because when you're right about a problem, then you also decide how right you are about how difficult or even impossible the solution is. So when you get to be wrong about a problem, you get to be wrong about how difficult the solution is going to be. It's so much more fun. All right, here's another one. Believing that something is impossible. Right? This is a huge one. So when you have a belief that something is just impossible, it causes you to guard yourself to any new possibility. It causes you to resist any new ideas. It causes you to even be defensive and maybe have judgments or doubts about new ideas before you even give them a try. So when someone has the belief it's impossible, even when they hear solutions, their brain is still going to look for problems within the solution. Have you ever heard that happen? Where you're like, oh, here's what you could do, or here's something that might be helpful. And someone says, well, here's why that won't work. Or, well, what about if this happens? It's not even worth trying to come up with a solution if someone has the thought it's impossible. If they're leading with that thought, no solution, no strategy is going to land for them because they are looking for the fault in all solutions. So this is going to create all kinds of resistance to any kind of what I call the messiness, right? When we are achieving new goals, when we are putting ourselves out of our comfort zone, that is a messy process. It is supposed to be messy. We need to get messy in order to learn, in order to try things, in order to learn how to move forward. We have to get messy to learn. So problems are completely solvable. All problems are solvable. But when we think that it's impossible, whenever things get a little bit messy or it feels awkward or we start to get uncomfortable, we think, oh, it's broken. This is just more reason why it's impossible. So you've got to allow yourself to realize that all problems are solvable and the path to the solution is supposed to be messy. So sometimes when coaches join the academy and they start to try out coaching skills and we have them join our practice coaching calls, they go through the coaching session and it's very messy. And they're like, oh, I'm not going to figure this out. That was messy. And then they realize that the messiness is part of the path towards becoming a great coach. It's supposed to be messy, right? That is what is normal when someone is trying and learning a new skill. So in order to overcome this belief, it's impossible, you must realize that your problems are totally solvable. And you've got to remind yourself why you want there to be a solution, not why you want there to be an impossible block that's going to get in your way. Sometimes we don't realize that whatever we look for, we're going to find. So if we're looking for reasons why something will be impossible and difficult and hard, our brain's going to go on a scavenger hunt and give us more of those reasons. But when you can remind yourself why you want there to be a solution, why you want your problem to be solvable, you'll start to get evidence of how it is solvable and how you can figure it out and how you can actually move forward. All right, so the number one thing that prevents coachability more than anything else I've shared so far is blame. As long as you have something to blame, you will not move forward. I often say you cannot blame and grow at the same time. You cannot blame and grow at the same time because when you blame anything, when you blame yourself, when you blame others, when you blame your circumstances, you give away your power. You don't allow yourself to take responsibility for the results. So why do people blame? Have you ever thought about that? Why do people blame so quickly and so often? Well, the reason why people blame is because it requires zero effort to blame. It doesn't require anything of you to blame, right? You could blame someone for why you're not getting where you want to get in life. You could blame something about you. You could blame a circumstance out of your control. It doesn't require any effort of you to blame. So in order to overcome blame, the solution is taking full responsibility for your results. Now, this is different from taking full responsibility over the things out of your control, over the circumstances that you cannot change, right? You must take full responsibility for your results. What creates your results is the thoughts that you have about all of your circumstances, about all the things out of your control. Your mind is something you are fully responsible for. Your feelings is something you are fully responsible for. The actions you take and the actions you don't take is something you are fully responsible for. Now, this will be terrifying at first when you actually take full responsibility for all the results in your life. I mean, think about it for a moment. Look at your life right now. The relationships you're in or you're not in, the career that you're in or you're not in, what you're earning, your health, right? the level of joy you have in your day-to-day life? What if you took full responsibility over all the results in your life? Now, even though this might be really scary and you might want to resist it, it is so liberating when you let it sink in. It's always worth it because when you take responsibility, it gives you ownership. You're able to own the problem, which means you're also able to own the solution. So the problem no longer owns you anymore because you get to own it. You get to have power, ownership, and choice. So this means taking responsibility for all the thoughts you're having, the feelings, the actions, the reactions, the inactions, the decisions. If you're a coach, it's taking responsibility for not having clients, not making the money you want to make. You take responsibility for it all. Now, what are the things you can't change? You can't change or control other people's thoughts or feelings or actions or results. You can't control the world at large. So it doesn't serve you to spend time focusing on trying to control what someone else might be thinking or trying to control how someone feels about you or feels about your coaching or trying to keep a client from quitting even. We cannot control our clients' actions, right? So for every single challenge that you have, one of the first things to consider, in summary, is how coachable am I showing up to this challenge? When you're working with clients and you notice that there might be resistance or they're guarded or they are shutting down, they might be closing themselves off to the coaching process because they're not coachable. So think about how can you be coachable to all challenges in life? How could you awaken coachability in your clients to help them take more responsibility for any of the challenges that they're going through? That's what I got in this episode on coachability. The more coachable you are, the more your life transforms. Thanks for tuning into this episode, and I will see you in the next one. Hey, would you like access to powerful coaching tools you can use on yourself and clients right away? For being a listener of the podcast, I'm giving you a VIP guest pass to get a sneak peek into my coach training program. Inside, you'll learn our coaches' secret tool they use to transform their clients' lives. And you'll also get a training on how to launch a coaching business. Just head over to www.thrivingcoachacademy.com/VIP to get started. I'll see you on the inside.